The only thing left to do with the header really is to fill in this area here. Remember what I was talking about with regards to making things above the fold? This is a valuable piece of real estate. We don't want to leave this blank because it's going to get seen by most people. Most website visitors will start their eyes in the top left where they expect the logo to be, and then they'll kind of move across to the right and then kind of go down like that. So we don't want to leave this blank. So I was also talking previously about calls to action and most desired action. So this would be a good place to put a call to action. Let's click in the header. So we've got our header tab activated here, and Artist has a whole bunch of images built into it. So if we click on the word image, then you see all these images are built in, and you can put any of this stuff in just by clicking on it, and there's loads and loads and loads of them. However, if you can't find an appropriate one in here, there is another way. If you go to your web browser and we go to www.webcatalyst.info/photos, then it will refer you to this site, which is iStock Photo. This is like a big online marketplace where you can buy images and photographs and all kinds of things on a pay-as-you-go basis. So all you have to do with this site is to put a keyword or a phrase into the search box, and it will show you a whole bunch of images that you can buy that are related to that. So say if I wanted to add something like money back guarantee or something like that, click search, it will then come back with a whole list of images that relate to that. I say if I misspelled that word, probably have guarantee, but nonetheless it's still come back with a whole bunch of images that I can use. It's only come back with 14 here. Most of the time it comes back with thousands and thousands and thousands. Say if I put in something like buy now, and it doesn't have to be a call to action image either. Get rid of that. There you see you got a whole bunch of things there. And then if you want to know how much a given image is going to cost to buy, all you have to do is just click on it. So say we liked this one here, just click on that, and it will then tell us. That will charge you different amounts based on the size of the image that you want to buy. For most website purposes, the extra small ones are absolutely fine. They're probably still too big. If we were to buy this image and put it in the top right hand corner of our site, seeing that it's 361 pixels wide by 332 pixels high, that's just not going to fit. So we'd still have to resize that before putting it into Artistia. And it's telling me here that this is 2 credits. So you can buy packs or packages of credits from iStock Photo. I think they come in packs of like 10 or 14, 20, 30, and the more you buy, the cheaper they get. So that's why they do it in credits. You can also switch it over to your own currency so that you can see exactly how much that image is going to cost. Because if you've bought a pack of 100 credits, then that image at 2 credits is cheaper, because the amount of credit it costs you gets lower the bigger pack you buy. But you can just pay as you go. See, that image there is £3. You might think that's a lot to buy a little image, but bear in mind how much you're saving on building your own site anyway. So spending £20 or £30 or $20 or $30 buying yourself some good images is definitely worthwhile, because you buy it once and then you've got it forever. You can do pretty much what you like with it, other than you're not allowed to resell these to other people. You can use them on your own site, but you can't then sell them on to other people. That's the only restriction. Okay, so have a good play with that. There's lots of filters you can do with the search feature. So say I wanted a photograph of business deal, something like that. Okay, so it's asking me here, business deal. What do you mean? An agreement or a deal? As in, well, Ken don't know what that means. But you can tick and untick different meanings to make sure you get exactly what you want. So there's a whole different filtering system in here. You can also add keywords on top of that. If you see a lot of stuff that isn't relevant in the search results, you just keep adding keywords. So it's saying business and deal. You can then filter it down even further if you want something animated, which is what it means by flash, audio, if you want sound file, a video, illustrations are those sort of cartoony clip art images like that. So they're not photographs, they're actually created. They tend to be a bit more expensive because you can resize them to any size that you want. Or if you just want photos, you click on that and you just get photographs like that. You can also filter it by price range. See here, you just move this slider, say I want one that's cheap, and it'll just filter all those out. And as you go through this process, you see here the search results will start getting fewer and fewer. So I'm down to 17,000 at the moment. 17,000 photos that are in this price range and that are to do with business deal. But that's not where it ends either. You can keep going. Say I've got, it depends what shape the area you're working with. So take this section here. These images are sort of square. They're the same width as they are high. So in that case, I'm looking for a square image. And then you go to this section. See there, it's square. That's a landscape image, and that's a portrait image. At the minute it's showing us all different types. So if we wanted to fill that whole area in our site here, you can see this is a landscape, so it's a rectangle. And if I were to buy something like that, the clipboard, and then put it in there, straight away we know it's going to have a white border on the right and the left, because we can't possibly make it any higher than it is, and it's going to have space on the right and left. So that would be no good. So we don't want portrait images in our search results in this case. So I want a landscape image. So I'll just click on landscape images, and it would filter out even further. Let's see how many we've got now. Now we're down to 10,000, and we can just keep going. We can filter it by color. So say if I want an image that is predominantly green, and I click on apply, it's going to make sure that that color occurs in the image. There we go. Now we're down to 4. So this is how Artist is pretty clever at making sure that the color scheme matches anyway, and you just need to follow that on when you're looking for photos. Now, if you want to be sure that the color you pick in iStock Photo is an exact match for what you're using on your website, you can do that. So on the colors and fonts tab here, you've got the 3 main colors that Artist here is using whenever it gives you color options. So it's using predominantly grays, this blue, and this other color blue. So if you can see here, it's using that there. This is a variation of the gray, and you've got the blue links with gray and so on. So it keeps a consistent color palette throughout. And you can change these just by dropping them down and selecting something else. But you can also do whole color themes like this by clicking on this, and when it loads it, you can just select a whole other color theme. But say we were happy with the color scheme that we've got, and we just wanted to know what color is that blue that's the background of the block. Then drop this down, and instead of selecting a different color, if you go to more colors, it will bring up the color selector. So it says that there's the whole color spectrum, and each of the items on the color spectrum can either be darker or lighter. Obviously the lightest of any color is white, and then the darkest of any color is black. But what we want is this hex number here. This is the computer code reference number for that particular shade of color. So if we were to highlight that hex number, right click and copy, we can then go to iStock Photo, and I've already selected a color, but I'm just going to cancel that, so that takes it out again. So you can delete any of your search criteria to get you back a step. So you see in this little box where it says hex, as you click on the different items, it's going to tell you what the hex color is. But instead of that, you can just click in here, get rid of all that, right click, and then paste our hex color in. Click on apply, and we'll make absolutely sure that it's going to suggest images that's going to match that color. Nope, that's green, so it looks like I've done something wrong there. We go back down here, try this again, paste, there we go. Now it's got the correct blue. I don't know what I did last time. Click apply, and then back up to the top there, and we've got all our images in blue. And now I can just select from these, we're down to 22 now. Now this is pretty certain it's going to match our criteria, so you notice they're all landscape, they're all blue, they're all to do with business deals, etc. And I say I quite like it, the handshake or something like that. Just click into it, and it will then tell me it's 4 credits or whatever size I want. This one will be absolutely fine. It's still too big, so we'll have to resize it in paint.net when we buy it anyway, but we could just buy that and then put it wherever we wanted. Get rid of that color box. We could put it in the content, put it in the top, etc. Now, in my instance, I don't particularly want to add an image up here. I think I would quite like a call to action there. So what I'm going to do is click in the header, And you remember we've got the site title and the tagline that we can use in the header, the 2 lines of text. This one's the main title, and in controls that's where they are, like headline and slogan. Earlier on I deleted the slogan because I didn't think I was going to need it, but now I've decided I'd like a phone number, call to action, in the headline. So I click on slogan and that'll put it back in for me. There it is, slogan. So I'll just click and drag this across here, and what I'd like it to say is call now and then the phone number. So I'm putting here call, oops, deselected it there, call now. With this slogan, I want this actually to be on 2 lines, so the way you get it to go to the next line is not just to press enter, because that will save it like that. So I need to double click on it again to get back into edit mode, put my cursor on the end of the line, hold down the shift key on my keyboard and press enter. Then it will let me get on to the next line. So it's going to be free phone 0800 123 456. That's it. Now click away and there it is. Now that doesn't look great, so I need to mess around with the font settings a bit. But I position it, and in there, make sure I'm on the heading tab, which I should be if I've got this selected. You see this text option. We can now play around with this. So there's the color palette we're using. We can just go to more colors and brings up our trusty color palette once again. What I'd suggest is if you've got a call to action, you use a distinctly different color from the rest of the website so that it stands out. In my case, I'm just going to go to the text option, go to color, I'm just going to select red because that's going to make people pay attention to it. And then what else are we going to do? We're going to change the size of it. So you can wave over the different text sizes and see how it gets bigger. Or you can just click on it and preview it for real. So not quite big enough. Up to 36. Yeah, that looks about right. Change the font if you wish. Verdana. Like that. Position it better. There we go. So say I'm happy with that. At the moment, there isn't a feature in Artisteer to make the headings and the slogans aligned. So ideally, I'd like that centered so that call now is right above the 0800 number. But it's just one of the restrictions of the header at the moment that's not actually possible. So I'm just going to have to live with that. The only alternative would be to create that call now phone number as an image. So I'd load up paint.net, use the text tool, and create call now 800 blah blah as an image, and then use that. Click on the header, import that image. The only downside to that is that images aren't searchable. You want to use as few images as you possibly can, because the more text you've got on your site, the better really. It's got a higher chance of loading up, it loads faster, and also it's more search engine friendly. So the final thing I want to do is fill this space, and I'd quite like to use the site search feature there. So on my header tab again, I've got controls, and I've got this search feature. So this is the WordPress's built-in search feature. There we go. So I just click and move this over here. Oh, it's messed up my slogan, so I'm going to have to realign this again. There we go. There we go, put that there. So when people type into that box, press enter or click on the magnifying glass there, it's going to search all the website pages and then show them search results. So if they can't find what they're looking for based on your menu and so forth, then they can just use the search feature. So I'm quite happy with my header as it is now. One final thing on this before we move on. At the moment on my WordPress admin, if I just go into the WordPress admin for a second and go to settings and then general, remember that these two sections, the site title and the slogan, are controlled by what you put in these two boxes. Okay. Now once we've finished our site design in Artisteer, we're going to export it and we're going to tell it to include all the content. You remember the first time I showed you it and then I loaded the site up, it didn't quite look like what we'd created in Artisteer because it didn't pull out all of the images and the wording from the page itself. It just exported the theme. And I said I'd show you how to get it to export everything. The exception to that is the site title and the slogan. So all we have to do with that, it'll export the styling, so it'll make sure that the site title, font, color and size is all correct, but the actual letters and numbers, we have to make sure we put them in this section. So how to build my own website, is that quite the same? Right, that says how to build your own website, so I just need to put how to build your own website just to make sure it's going to match. Because whatever goes in here, when we upload the theme, it's going to say it there and there. Okay, I'm going on about this more than I probably need to, but just don't want you to be confused when you upload the theme and wonder why it doesn't quite say what it said. It's just because it's just a quirk with this particular setting. So my slogan needs to say call now 0800 123 456. Okay, so in the slogan tagline I put call now 0800 123 456. This is the only place where you need to duplicate your effort. When we've built all of our pages and how to steer, then we'll be able to export all the content, as I say. But right now, if I exported this whole theme and then uploaded it and activated it in WordPress, the header will look like that now, because when we get there, those placeholders will be populated with that wording I've just put into the WordPress admin. Okay, let's move on.